Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are going to look at a problem that has to do with a regular polygon and determining some information about it. This is coming from CPM, and this is the integrated math 2 and section 8.2.2, number 8-39. It says a regular polygon has an interior angle measuring 135 degrees. Wants to know how many sides does it have. Determine the number of sides using two different strategies. Show all your work. Which strategy is most efficient? So I have a polygon, and I don't know how many sides there are of this polygon, so I'll just draw a few of the sides, we'll say. And it tells me that one of the interior angles is 135 degrees. So I know that one of these angles, which means all of those angles really, are 135 degrees, right? Well, in order to find the interior angle of a regular polygon, we do have a formula that we use, and it's n minus 2 times 180 divided by n, right? So it's the number of sides minus 2, and then you multiply that times 180, and then divide by n, which again is the number of sides. So n represents the number of sides. So here's my formula. I could use this formula then to go backwards to look for what n is if I know that what I get is 135 when I'm done. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take and solve for this backwards. So let's see what we would have. Get rid of that. To solve for n in this case, we would see. I would want to multiply. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to multiply both sides by n, just because I have an n being divided over here to get rid of that fraction. So multiply both sides by n. So now I have, and then I can as well distribute this 180. So I have 180n minus 360 is equal to 135 times n. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 180n from both sides to isolate my n. I'm just solving this equation for my value of n. So I have negative 360 is equal to negative, that would give me 45n. And now I can divide by negative 45. Not n, but just negative 45 both sides. So I get, so n, let's see, what is that? Does that give me 8, I believe? Let me just double check here. So 360 divided by 45 is 8, yes. So n equals 8. So that tells me then that there are 8 sides. So this is an octagon. Okay, an octagon, 8 sides. So that's one strategy in finding how many sides and what the measure of the, knowing that measure of that interior angle. Another strategy would be to guess and check, right? We could sit here and create a table where we have the number of sides, and then from there also determine the interior angle and continue with that, right? So if I had a regular polygon with 3 sides, each angle would be 60, because we know it's a triangle. If I had 4 sides, right, I could continue to fill in my table by plugging them into this n minus 2 times 180 over n, right? So that would give me what my interior angle is. Actually, I wouldn't put that someplace else because I'm going to fill my table. So utilize this formula over and over and over again, right? So if I plug in a 4, I get, let's see, 4, that's 2, 360 divided by 4, so 90. So if I plug in a 5, I would get if I had a 5 and 5, I'd have it would be 108. If I plug in a 6, it'd be 120. If I plug in a 7, so I could keep going basically until I get to my 8, which would then, if I plug in the 8, I'd get 135 degrees. So I could just create this table, this guess and check table, until I get to my right answer. So that's another way. All right. So those are a couple of strategies to determine how many sides. So determine the number of sides if you're given the interior angle. Okay. There you go.